It's been a long time coming, but now it's finally time for us to ride and experience the very first set of sub 500cc motorcycles from BMW Motorrad in India. These two bikes are the G310R and the G310GS. And first up we have the G310R, which is a roadster. So let's see what it has to offer. The G310R is a bike that looks much like its elder sibling, the S1000R. It shares a lot of the design cues with the liter class bike, and you have a very muscular looking tank and beefy golden forks at the front which exude that roadster look, and it's quite compact as well, so it's gonna be good for riding in the city. The finish of the bike is done quite nicely, and there seem to be no apparent ugly weld marks, and the bike looks quite clean. But I do have a complaint, and that is with the plastic provided. Given the price premium, I was expecting slightly better quality of plastic, because a lot of the panels you can press and they move. BMW impressed me with the fit and finish of the switches on the handlebar. Everything is placed neatly with enough space between the various buttons. The LCD instrument panel is also quite legible and packs in 2 trip meters, a speedometer, odometer, fuel level indicator, average speed, average fuel economy, range and more. There is only one button that is used to toggle between the various metrics and even reset some. Even the almost triangular headlamp up front looks good. It is a halogen unit, but I do not mind because it still looks good. Yes, of course, an LED unit would have been appreciated. Along with the headlamp, you get sleek looking turn indicators both at the front and at the rear, and there is also a very sleek tail lamp which looks amazing. You can ride for quite a long time on this bike because the riding position is quite neutral and forgiving. The handlebars are positioned nicely and not too far away from you. The seat cushion is quite comfortable. The cushion does do a great job of keeping you comfortable. For the rider, there is enough space. I'm 6 feet tall and I could easily sit on this and not feel as if the bike is too small for me, despite the 785mm seat height. And it is also more accessible when compared to the GS. Just a side note though, the extra graphics that you see, like the G310 badging here, the stripes and the HP badging, these will cost you about 10,000 rupees more when compared to the normal red and black colors. While this bike was engineered and made from the ground up in Germany, it is being manufactured in TVS Hosur facility, and you get the same 313cc liquid-cooled fuel-injected engine that you also find in the Apache RR310. And the performance is quite similar, although there is one improvement, and that is in the form of vibrations. You have definitely less amount of vibration on this bike. You do get some once you really pull the accelerator, but it's better than what you get in the Apache. The G310 bikes can spit out 34 horsepower at 9,500 rpm and 28 Nm of torque at 7,500 rpm. The bike feels plenty powerful for the city streets, and even when you get on the highway, you can easily maintain a triple-digit speed. The 6-speed gearbox is also decent for the most part, although it could have been a tad bit smoother. Unlike the Apache RR310, finding the neutral was a bit of a hit and miss. The exhaust note on the G310R, however, is quite feisty and satisfying to hear. It does sound better than the G310GS. My favorite part about the G310 bikes would be the brakes. You get a 300mm disc at the front and a 240 at the rear, along with BMW's dual-channel ABS, and they really do a great job of bringing the bike to a halt without throwing you off. Even an inexperienced rider can slam on the brakes and not fall down if they are careful. And our Indian roads are full of surprises, so you will need them and you will find them really handy after a while. It's quite apparent that this bike has quite a beefy suspension setup in the form of a 41mm upside down fork at the front and a monoshock at the rear. These do a great job of absorbing the bumps, the potholes and the speed breakers that our Indian roads have to offer. and you get a decent amount of travel. The GS obviously gets more travel in its suspension due to its adventure nature, but this also is quite apt for Indian roads. I myself was able to take it on some really tricky and muddy paths, and the shocks did not filter in on the body too much. The grip from the Michelin tires is absolutely fantastic. It's been raining a little today, and I did encounter a few patches of road where there was water on the road or if there was slush, and the bike did not lose its footing. Even while accelerating on a muddy patch of land, the bike held its own. Though it took a lot of time, we finally do get the 300cc bikes from BMW, and they are quite impressive in terms of their performance and especially in terms of the braking. I would say it is one of my favorite in this segment, and it is quite a usable bike when you talk about everyday commute. It's not too big, it's not going to heat or roast your legs. The only problem is the rather high price tag of 2.99 lakh rupees ex-showroom Delhi. And while this is a very good bike, the competition does have a lot of good products competing with this. The 3 years unlimited kilometer warranty does good for the BMW's cost, but still I feel that because it's being made in India, it could have been priced a little less.